Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, a reminder to everybody that I know that a lot of people that is following me through this canal, in this channel in YouTube, uh, most of you don't follow the blog, the daily post. You don't follow the social media. And I would like to notify you that in a few days, our path of the I am, as we are following right now every day, will end. The last day, the last day of a transmission will be the day August 3rd. So from August 4th, we won't have any more meetings every day here at the same time. So, because of this, I would recommend you to follow the blog, to keep updated with Instagram and Facebook somehow. For those who doesn't have it, just try to check it somehow, because since that moment, the connections won't be daily, will be a few days sometimes, and most of the data and information that I will upload will be whether in the blog or either in Instagram and Facebook. So there I will also notify which days and which hour will be the next connection through this canal here in so also, since this August 4th, we will be uploading in the social media, of the daily post that we have been doing in since the very beginning of the year. So we will start again with the same post. So we will be like doing a reminder since the very beginning. So we have another 6 months to start to gain back the information that we have been working with so long before. As always, whatever I do for this path will be always bilingual in English and Spanish. So I remind you again that in 13 days, which is the last day of our path, so that day ends all the connections like we are doing every day. We finish these connections daily, and start the 5 days out of time. So we will I will notify to everyone how it's going to be, because maybe it's not at the same time as always. So I will let you know about that. So pay attention in the social media to be aware of what time will be. So I remind you that everything that we have done, each one of the videos, each one of the posts, everything will be, as always, free. So you will have it forever here in this channel and the blog. So whenever you want, you can check it back, of course. So just for you to know, after this path ends, during the path of the dragon, I will do just 9 connections, officially 9 connections and 9 posts. It won't be like now every day. It will be just 9 throughout all this time of the path of the dragon. So so just for you to know that it won't be daily as we are doing now. But even though I will be, of course, doing some transmissions or some alignments or some posts that are besides those official 9 that I have to do. So you just have to be paying attention to the social media and the blog, because maybe one day I will say, tomorrow I do an alignment, or I do an explanation, a video, or whatever. So you will have to be paying attention to the social media so you don't miss it. Cuando sean los días fuera del tiempo, estaré informando sobre qué día van a ser los posts y las transmisiones que vamos a realizar en este próximo etapa del viaje. Así que no se preocupen, que va a estar todo publicado. Also, remember that in the 5 days out of time, at the end of the year, I will inform all of you, and it will be in the blog and everywhere, which days and from where will be the transmissions that I will do in this next stage of the trip. Okay, so don't worry that you will have all that way before it happened. So also remember that I will be traveling, so sometimes I won't have any connection. So maybe I won't be able to post anything, to share anything. So there will be moments in which I won't be there in the social media. And sometimes the days maybe can change because of some changes in the trip. So I will keep you notified about that. So I am repeating, I am saying this, but in the next days I will be repeating sometimes of this, so we can start to get in the mood of what is coming, okay? So don't worry. So the August 22nd, which is the task for everything that we are going to do, for everything that we have been doing every day, for this task, I won't have internet in the place where I will be. So I will not be able to do the alignment, to guide the alignment, but we will do the transmission somehow, so all of us can be connected at the same time, and I will explain exactly how it's going to be and everything, so we all can connect. So just to notify to all of you, from August 14th till August 27th, almost 2 weeks, I won't be in touch with anybody. I will be in a boat in the Arctic Ocean, and no communications, not even WhatsApp. I won't have anything in the boat. So I will disappear for those 14 days, and nobody will know anything about me. And not even friends, no one, because I have no way to communicate anything. And the 22nd, August 22nd, is the day of our task altogether, to align the North Pole with our task. So I will let everything ready for us to do the connection all together from the North Pole, but I won't be there to guide it. So you will have to do it by yourself. But we will have organize everything so we can be connected at the same moment. So don't worry, because I will give you all the explanation of the task, what to do, what time, how to do it, and the music to do it, and everything. So don't worry that when this day is finished, I will give you all that information. So the most important day, which is the one to align everything that we have been doing during the whole year, that day I won't be. So you will have to do it by yourself to do the connection. I would do my thing in the North Pole, but you will have to do it alone. So you will have to trust in yourselves. All connected in the network. So remember that in 13 days is the end of our year. So it is the new year. So the 5 days out of time are the celebration to begin the new year. So remember that this is not like saying goodbye and being sad because we are leaving this behind and these daily connections that we had, but it's starting a new thing. So we have to celebrate receiving all what is coming. So also remember that the 5 days out of time, I will explain day by day what are the tasks of the groups that will come in 2022. So even if you are part of already or you want to join and be part of them, of this event in 2022, remember that those days I will be explaining what is going to do each one of the groups. So the group you are going to be part of. Okay? Perfect. So once said this, let's go to the topic today, which is I'm trying to go straight to the topic. So the topic for today, roots. So regarding the roots, roots has three main goals. Which are stability at the first place, nutrition second place, and communication the third place. The roots of the tree work for stability because the root is the first thing that emerges from the seed, so it could go down and find and to grab into the soil, into the ground, so the tree doesn't move. So whatever happens outside, like wind, earthquakes, or flood or whatever, the tree stays straight, doesn't move. So it holds the tree and the plants anchored to its position, to the ground, so it doesn't move. So that's why stability is basically to maintain the axis of what we spoke yesterday. In the second place, nutrition. Nutrition would be because the roots has the goal of absorbing all the minerals and all the salt and water from the ground, so it could have all the inorganic materials that will be used on the branches and the leaves through the photosynthesis to create the food, the nourishment of the tree. So through this tiny little absorbing hair that the root has, they will nourish the whole tree, absorbing all these minerals like zinc, nitrogen, salt, iron, and so on. Okay. And in the third place, communication, because the roots, when they spread, they touch the roots of other trees. So through that, they emit pulses that inform, each one of the trees are informing the other ones what is happening around. So they use the roots as a way of communication, to let the other trees know what is happening around. Yeah. So a forest kind of work like the forest kind of work like a brain. When we talk about roots, it's connected to what yesterday we spoke about, the axis that we have in our spine. So when the spine finished, it's where the roots starts in our being, but they are invisible for us. For the trees, they are invisible also to our sight because they are under the ground. So because they are below the limits of the ground, we don't see them. So that means that the roots are hidden. So for us, those hidden roots is the past. All of this would be the past. In order to get the comparison, we will go to understand the past of our hidden past related to the hidden roots of a tree. Remember that this is exactly as the iceberg. Okay, the iceberg has one part above the water, which is the conscious, and the other below the water, which is the unconscious. So here with the ground, we have the same. The upper part of the tree would be the conscious, and all the roots under the earth will be the unconscious. Don't mistake with the subconscious. Remember, the subconscious would be everything, the ground, the forest, everything that is around the tree. The unconscious are the roots of the tree. Okay, so what it means that for a tree is all the hidden part that holds nutrition, stability, and communication, and for us is the past in which we are seated. Okay, so we as humans, we sit in our present, we sit in the basis of the past that are holding us, for us are invisible. Let's see from the point of view of the unconscious what this type of the roots would be for us. Bueno, en primer lugar, estabilidad. So stability in the first stage. Stability is for us our past, and the first of our past, because the past gives us stability. Why? Because sometimes we can think that the past is terrible and we have to forget the past because it's many painful things happen, a lot of trauma, a lot of things happen. But actually, whatever is happening in the past is affirming myself. How? Well, I can think that around the roots, we have different rocks that we can call philosophy, religion, culture, tradition, ethics, morality, whatever. We can have many of those. So the roots basically are grabbed in these rocks through the past. So this means that every individual from my past has been grabbing one of those principles of those stones that for me are really heavy, but because they have been grabbing into those deep and heavy stuff, I am able to go up. Remember that in this tree of life, I am a branch reaching the sun, the light. So for me, from my point of view, they here are like my darkness because they are against me. They go looking for the shadow, for the rocks, when I am looking for something transcendental and enlightened. But actually, through the path of each one of these individuals in my history being grabbed to one tradition, being grabbed to one belief, to one religion. They hold that so tight, that pattern so tight, that it's because of them that I have the stability in order to grow up. So it's because of their past, it's because of their heaviness that I am able to seek the light. So when I changed the point of view of recognizing and honoring all the different individuals in my history that were attached to some patterns, I will recognize that each one of them were doing its own part to keep me stable in my own stability so I can reach the light. So that would be first to understand stability. When do we have a problem with stability? We have a problem with stability when some of the branches, they bend down to the ground and they start to create roots going down and grabbing one of the rocks. So in that state, for sure you have seen some trees doing that. It's like if one of the branches, like whoever of you, could lose its purpose of looking the light and bending down to the ground, creating roots to grab some of those rocks, some traditions, some culture, philosophy, something that someone from the past have done, and it's already grabbing. But the people that these people have lost its purpose, so it's looking for the other one. And in our unconscious actions, we start to do stuff exactly the same as our ancestors would do, repeating the same things, repeating the same patterns, the same actions, the same hobbies, and all these kind of things, because we have lost our own stability, our own purpose. So we start to grab something on the ground, because when happened this, when the tree has lost its own stability, so it starts to look for much more stability. So when you find your own purpose and stability, you start to get disconnected from those roots. You become aware of that, and you start to create a new path towards the light, which is your goal. And in this process, what have you done? You hadn't eliminated the past. You hadn't cut your roots in order for you to be free. What you just have done was to disconnect yourself from that past, but you are part of it still. The only thing that you have done is to look for your own purpose besides this one. You're not eliminating the root, you're just setting free this root, this past, to let do its job as it was meant to. Okay, so you start to do your own. It's important to understand this, because when we speak about therapies and so on, we usually believe that in order to set ourselves free and to keep going, we have to eliminate all this deep part, and we have to clean the history of our tree so we can move on. But actually, it's not like that. If you eliminate the trees, you don't have stability, and the tree falls down. The real problem here is not how to clean the roots, is why I lost my goal in the tree. It's me, the one that is pushing back again to a place that is not my own. Okay, so I have to recognize and honor the stability that my ancestors are doing, and so my ancestors are gonna do their job to hold my back so I can do properly my own purpose. Okay, so it's important to understand this, because thanks to the trees we can understand the analogy of the importance of patterns and the importance of some people in our tree, in our history, being grabbed to beliefs, to structures. Because if they are not grabbing, holding those structures, the entire tree falls down. So that's why we needed some ancestors and people to be grabbed to those patterns so we can grow up to the light. The only problem here is when we are trying to grab the rock, the structure. Okay? And instead of pushing to blossom, we are just trying to grab something from the back. This is why looking backwards to the past is something that helps us to honor the stability that the ancestors are giving us, so we can honor them, thank them because they are doing that, so I can do my job properly. Okay? So as I said, the roots of our tree of life give us stability so we can grow up to the sky and receive the light, doing our purpose. In the ground, you have many minerals, many elements like water, nitrogen, carbon, iron. So you have many things here that are inorganic, that are just elements, that you cannot use them for yourself unless you have a use process for that. So you need for those elements to go through a process. And the roots, what they do is to make a filter, absorbing the water and cleaning the water so the tree can drink it better, absorb the iron so it can be processed and be inside the fruits and the flowers, so then it is helpful for our blood. They absorb the nitrogen, and in order to consume the nitrogen that we need, it is thanks to a process that turns them into a fruit that we can consume it. So the roots are taking all the inorganic that we cannot use naturally, and they do a process of filter to turn them into something new, which is organic and what we call food. So this that we can see from a plant, we will look for it into our past. So looking into this as a human history, we can use nutrition in this way. Each one of these elements that I mentioned before, here they are experiences. For example, a migration, an invasion, a war, any conflict, hunger, a drought, a new language, whatever, many things. So all these are things that happen in the environment. And all the roots, which means each one of our ancestors, are absorbing that experiencing. So some ancestors lived the war, some ancestors lived the hunger, some ancestors lived a new language, some ancestors have to migrate. They had thousands of experiences, and they absorb those experiences, and they filter those experiences, so we in the branches can receive it already filtered, already processed. So we have that inside as an inner knowledge, as an inner wisdom that is hidden in our unconscious. And we call that gifts. Those are our skills, our gifts, our abilities, and all the things that we don't know why we know them, and we don't know how we do them, because it's all filtered through the unconscious by the experiences that our ancestors have been living. And we receive that as information. And in the communication, what we can know is that throughout the experiences that have been absorbed by our ancestors through millions of years, we gain the ability to exchange, to share with others, to create something new with others, a new culture, something transcendental. So we create civilizations. The key to our transcendence, which is connecting to one another, being connected with others as a society. So all those things are not things that you have to learn through your life. Those are the things that are hidden inside your unconscious. They are there. You don't have to learn them. They are just natural. It's thanks to all these ancestors that we can be what we are and that we can start to build something towards the future. And for sure, we have thousands of things that are hidden in our unconscious that we, because of a trauma, because of a conflict or whatever, some fear, we don't let out. We are scared to show, and we have no clue that we have them, that we have those skills. So sometimes they just are locked. And if we open our unconscious, we will discover that we have the skills to do some things that we would never think about. So something incredible to think about is that 70,000 years ago, almost nothing, 70,000 years ago, there was a volcano called Toba in Sumatra that exploded, and it covered the whole planet in dust and ashes, and it killed many plants in the planet. It started a glaciation, and many creatures, many animals have died, and even humans were almost about being extinct. There were only around 5,000 humans in that moment left. Only 5,000. So what this means that these 5,000 people, these only 5,000 people were spread along what is today China, Indochina, India, the Great Stan, which are the countries named ended in Stan, Middle East, and part of Africa. That is the only territory where these 5,000 people were spread, and they started to migrate. And this means that in the last 70,000 years, all the millions and billions of humans that exist today comes from exactly the same families of those 5,000 people. Okay, so basically, since that time, we all humans have the same fear, the fear of the end of the world, fear to death, fear to the darkness, fear to the hell. So we all share that. So basically, we all share this kind of memories, we all share this kind of fears. And because of this, we can understand that we are here in the present building future just because, thanks to our ancestors, we inherit many experiences that push us forward. I hope that we understand now that it's not that the past is pulling us back, but is that we as individuals, we are holding the past because we are afraid. But if we honor and understand our history, we would know that all the people from before were just doing everything to hold us so we can grow and move forward to find our purpose. Today in the post, I wrote a little bit of what things maybe we can do to connect with that history and to honor that history. The vibration today is Zo. The statement today is, I am the vibration of creation. The code today is the age of Capricorn. Between the years 19470 and 21,620 BC approximately, the Mu civilization and the giants coexist in inhospitable lands far away from humans that were mostly found in the warm areas of the planet. Still living in caverns, culture was linked to the mother and nature directly, surviving the biggest predators. Let's go to alignment. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate on your breathings. I take a deep breath, becoming aware of my physical body. Using the imagination, I observe my feet and legs turning into roots that go deep into the ground, down to earth, expanding throughout the soil. Recognize from my hip, my waist, chest and back how the trunk of this tree emerges from the ground through these roots. And I see the branches extend through my arms, hands, neck and head. And I perceive how through my senses the leaves, flowers and fruit blossom, expanding all around. From my sight, my touch, smell, hearing and taste. I recognize I am the tree of life. I bring my attention to my roots, to my legs and feet, and I become aware that in them I can feel each one of my ancestors through the ground of history and the past. I can feel, perceive that all the memories from the past are living inside of me, in my unconscious. All the things that I cannot see, that I cannot be aware of, they live there within me. Each experience from my ancestors nourish me. Each pattern and structure from my ancestors are holding me stable here and now. All the exchanges that my ancestors have done allows me to be a human living in a society. I honor pieces from my ancestors that are given to me as gifts, abilities that help me to build my future, to reach for the light. I am the great legacy of humanity. I am the legacy of my past. And I recognize that each unconscious attitude, I can turn it into a conscious action. For I am the vibration of creation. I am the vibration of creation. I am the vibration of creation. take a deep breath, and each one at its own time, come back here and now. Thank you everybody for being here another day. And as always, see you tomorrow at the same time.